A pardon for you, a pardon for you, a pardon for you, a pardon for you. Not you. Should Biden pardon President Trump? What would it mean if he did? I believe it's possible Jill was asking Trump if he would be cool with the pardon from Biden. Yeah, you know, the famous photo where Jill is leaning in, speaking to Trump, jokingly saying, "Hey, I voted for you." You remember the picture, right? It was plastered all over the internet. You know, kind of Jill's leaning in and she's like, "Yo, you know, I voted for you, right? Yeah, they X'd my man out, so I voted for you, Trump." Yeah, that picture. So, yeah, she finished it off, right, with, "Are we going to pardon you?" She's asking Trump, you know, "Are we going to pardon you?" And Trump's like, "Nah, don't do that. I'm going to pardon myself." Bam! Gotti style. So, seriously though, if Biden pardoned Trump, it would be monumental on so many ways. One, I think it would change people's perception of Joe and make him like a Cat Williams for the rest of his life. If he went on podcast everywhere exposing the whole corrupt system, he would throw everyone under the bus, including Nancy Pelosi and Obama. And he would expose everything, right? He'd be like Cat Williams. He would be on the Shannon Sharp show. He would be bigger than Cat Williams if it was Joe Biden and he pardoned Donald Trump, right? And he said, "Listen, I'm coming clean. I converted. I'm at the end of my life. You know, I'm repenting. I'm getting ready to go into eternity. I know I'm going to die. You know what I mean? You know, Nancy, she's going to die wicked, corrupted, disgusted, busted, and going straight to hell possibly. You know what I mean? I don't want to take that chance. You know, I am a Catholic who received confession, by the way. You know what I mean? I received the Lord's Supper, right? So I do got to repent before I die, right? So, you know, Joe's being a good Catholic, right? So he's going to expose everything before he gets taken, you know, before he passes away and moves on to the next part of his existence, which is eternity, right? Where as a Catholic, he knows he got to confront God for all them babies he got killed, you know, from ever since the days he was in Senate. But now, so he's like, you know, he's coming clean moment. So to start off coming clean before he leaves the White House, since he went ahead and pardoned everybody else, he's going to go ahead and pardon Donald Trump as the final boom, 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 gut punch to the Democratic Party and to the evil system in general. And that includes all the rhinos that are in the Republican Party because they corrupt and disgusted and busted too, just like the George Bushes. So, you know, what would that mean, man? It would be crazy, right? It would be totally insane if Joe Biden pardoned Donald Trump. Man, talk about some exciting news, huh? That would, you know, beside Trump, you know, serving fries at McDonald's and Donald Trump rolling up like a G in a garbage truck, that would be Joe's moment, right? Look, I pardoned the Orange Man. And then him and the Orange Man coming together, it would be bigger then Trump coming together with Musk and Trump coming together with Ramaswamy and Trump coming together, you know what I mean, with RFK Jr. It would be bigger than all that. Man, can you imagine the Biden pardoning Trump and joining the Trump team? That'd be crazy, man. Tulsi Gabbard ain't got nothing on that. That'd be the craziest thing. Boy, Nancy Pelosi might die in her footsteps right there on the spot, just pass out and die. Give up her soul and have to go confront Jesus because I think she thinks she's Catholic too. I don't know. But anyway, it would be the craziest thing if that happened. You know what I mean? But, you know, then we come back to reality. He's not going to do it because he's been trying to convict Donald Trump from the beginning. And you know what I've learned about wicked, corrupt politicians and wicked, corrupt, elite people? They don't confess nothing. Not all of them, but the majority of them die and go into eternity unrepented and likely straight to hell. I say that because I believe the Holy Scripture and the Bible says that you'll know a fruit by the tree, but you'll know a tree by the fruit it bears. And listen, Biden ain't bearing no good thing. Listen, he just pardoned a lot of people. I think some of the people that he pardoned deserve to be pardoned. You know, I'm talking about the ones with the minor marijuana charges that may have got sentenced and, you know, maybe the felonies messing up their lives. I don't think that a felony should mess up someone's life because they got a minor drug offense or a first-time drug offender or even a first-time nonviolent offender. But what about the violent offenders? I'm a violent offender, right? So let's get into me a little bit. You know, and I said we back into reality. And, you know, but I'm saying this about me. How about Joe Biden give me a pardon? I've been home from prison for almost 20 years, and I've helped with the planting of a church in the Ninth Ward of Louisiana after Hurricane Katrina, right? I worked a few years for the nonprofit company in the rebuilding efforts also after Hurricane Katrina. The list goes on the good things I've done for society. You know, I can go down the credentials one after another and give myself a pat on the back for all the accolades I accomplished. Do you think Joe Biden is going to give me a pardon? A regular, everyday dude like me who's been home from prison for 20 years? You know what I mean? Yes, I've walked through a lot of trials and tribulation, and I've also had some minor setbacks here and there, even some major setbacks, but I've overcome them, and I proved that I can be a productive member of society. I pay my taxes. I support the local church, you know, that I'm a part of, and I've been a part of since I've been home from prison, thanks to my lovely and beautiful wife who got me involved. You know, I do what I can to be a good member of society. I pay my taxes. I, you know, help people where I can. You know what I mean? I believe in the old sayings, you know what I mean? Push the shopping cart back in the shopping cart slot where it belongs. You know, try to do the small things. Hold the door open for the little old lady, right? Help the little old lady with her groceries when she crosses the street. I believe in all the small gestures. Make society a better place. But we too busy putting these fools on pedestals. You know what I mean? But now let's talk about some of the people that Biden did pardon, because I think it's pretty pathetic on some of the people that he pardoned. Let's get into the first and most controversial one, the pardon of Hunter Biden, right? All Joe Biden had to do was come out and say, hey, look, I'm pardoning my son because he's my son. I don't think anybody, even if they thought Hunter Biden was completely guilty, would be like, you know what, I can't really say nothing about that, because if it was my son and my son was guilty, I still pardon him too, because I love my son and I want to give him another shot. So nobody would have had a problem with that. That's not where the problem lies. The problem lies is that Biden came out and said that there's no way he would pardon Hunter, that Hunter had to accept his consequences, and he would allow the consequences of the judicial system that Joe Biden said he believed in, and the juries that he said he believed in the American judicial system, and that the peers and the juries, if they found Hunter guilty, he would accept it and Hunter would have to pay his consequences. No, he didn't just pardon Hunter and go back and recant on what he said, which we all knew he was going to do anyway, but he pardoned Hunter back as far as 10 years. Why did he pardon him back as far as 10 years? Man, what kind of corruption and how deep is the corruption? Man, it's deep. And we, as normal everyday citizens, we too busy with our attention span stuck on a 10-second, 20-second TikTok video of idiots. Go watch China's 10 and 20-second TikTok videos. It ain't a bunch of idiots who sound like stupid fools in America. They're running silent camps, man. They're training their children up in the ways to rule the world. We training our children to be dummies, idiots, and subservient to the freaking rulers of the Chinese government that's planning on taking over this nation someday. We too stupid to realize it. You know, Chinese communist TikTok got us with 5 and 10-second attention spans. That's crazy, man. We can't process information quick enough. And it's the stuff that we watch is just stupid. On to something else, man. Let's talk about Biden and how many people he pardoned, because he pardoned a whole bunch of them. So if you look at all the people Biden pardoned, it can create a new rabbit hole for you to chase through in the universe for eternity. That's how deep the pardoning goes for President Biden. But let's get to the core of these pardons, right? I'm just an ex-con who doesn't know enough to be speaking on politics. That's what most people are going to say, right? I'll just ramble my thoughts anyway. So supposedly Biden has pardoned over 8,000 people so far. 8,000 people he's pardoned. And I'm just this small time begging for some views YouTuber who's talking about Biden. 8,000 people he pardoned. That's almost more than all the presidents combined from George Washington to Joe Biden. If you took Joe Biden out the mix and picked a mix and match of 5 or 6 or 10 other presidents, they still wouldn't have pardoned more people than Joe Biden did. 8,000 people. Yes, I get a large portion of them were nonviolent marijuana charges, but a lot of them were not. Even taking those out the way, he still pardoned more controversial people than any other president in the world. And you could talk about President Trump all you want, but he, in comparison to even Obama, pardoned a small amount of people, And you know what? You could say controversial and everything. Of course, people are going to look out for their own people. That's just the way it goes, whether we like it or not. So, you know, that's on, you know, so I want to put this in perspective. The last president to pardon the most amount of people compared to Biden was Franklin Roosevelt. Yeah, this dude that I put a picture up. He was the last person to pardon a lot of people, and he don't even barely reach half of the amount of pardons that Biden did. So, and who are some of the people that Biden did pardon? I want to talk about some of them. Let's talk about this dude named Michael Conanan, or Michael Conahan. I'm trying to say their names correctly, right? So he was this Pennsylvania criminal, connected to the political system, attorney, who was trading kids for cash. What does that mean? This dude was basically bribed to put juveniles in detention centers, and in return, he got paid. At least one juvenile committed suicide due to this man's corruption. But hey, he gets a pardon. Even Democratic Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro criticized Biden for this particular pardon. Biden pardoned a dude who was sentenced, a judge who was sentenced for putting juveniles in prison for cash. That's right. He got paid from other corrupt politicians and corrupt leaders inside the Pennsylvania leadership and government. They said, hey, look, we need to fill these beds. You fill these beds. We're going to kick you back, whatever they kicked him back. And this dude got caught for sentencing juveniles to time in prison, and he got paid. And this is who Biden pardoned. This is one of the fools he pardoned. And you ain't got a problem with this? I thought you stood for the social justice system. You don't stand for nothing. Y'all all a bunch of chumps, man. If you think and you agree that this is a good pardon, we supposed to stand up. You should be criticized. Even if you like Biden, you should be criticizing this particular one, right? If you down for the cause, right? These social justice warriors, you should be against Biden, even if you voted for him, for a pardon in this fool right here. And he ain't the worst of them. They get it worse. I can't even name all of them. There's so many of them. But I figured we'd talk about a few here on the Pen and the Shank. And you know what? While you're at it, why don't you take a moment to give me a like, thumbs up, and subscribe to an up and coming prison and crime related content channel where I do things a little bit different than the rest. Yeah, unique and unusual ways. Go check out my videos. But anyway, another dude who's a corrupt fool that Biden went ahead and pardoned is this dude named Paul M. Dagordas. And I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Of course, I'm going to put it at the bottom of the screen. This criminal mastermind, and that's what he is. He conned the IRS and the American taxpayers out of $1 billion. Yes, a B in billion. And now he gets a Biden pardon. The IRS comes after us, regular citizens, for a few $1,000s. Isn't that insane? If we try to get over $200 and try to get by on eBay, they coming after us. They gonna put us in jail. But Paul M. Dagordas, shoot, man, he gets a full pardon. This dude, billion, it's like $1.6 billion that he conned the taxpayers out of with some kind of medical tax scheme. Yeah, that's right. He was conning Medicare and Medicaid, and running interest up and everything and doing falsified documents with other doctors and supposedly people inside the community. And I forgot what part it was. I know he got convicted in the feds, I think. Go look him up. This dude is so crooked and he must be so connected that you can't even find no information on him. Paul M. Dagordas. You can't find it. I looked him up. There's very little information on this dude, but this dude was caught in the biggest IRS scheme in the history of America. And that's how much money he took. And he is getting a pardon. Yeah, why is he getting a pardon? He got that money in Swiss accounts probably. That's why. He got money buried all over the Caribbeans. You know what I mean? Hidden in treasure chests like some kind of pirate like Jean Lafitte. These are the crooked politicians or the crooked lawyers that our president, Joe Biden, is giving full pardons to. Biden got to make sure his money's right. He ain't got enough of it in Ukraine. He got to get a little extra, you know what I mean? So him and Paul probably struck up a deal. I don't know this for certain. This is the way we think as American people, though. We come up with ideas when we see this stuff. We got to make it make sense. And you can say we conspiracy theorists all you want, but this is crazy. How are we letting this dude get a full pardon? Man, this dude should be locked up in jail, right? Still, but instead he gets a pardon. Man, why do these connected people seem to miraculously always find a way out of the consequences? I got caught selling Vicodin, not even supposedly, possession with intent. I had an intent to distribute. I got 5 flat years in prison, no probation, no parole. I had to do every 5 years. Yeah, I had a felony charge for a violent drive-by shooting before that. I was on parole for I had to back up that time. But still, in comparison, this dude, I done more time than this dude in prison probably. Paul M. Dagordas, biggest thief in American history, pardoned. The pardon list is filled with connected con artists who defrauded the American people out of millions and millions of dollars. Rita Crunwell, she stole $54 million from the people in her own community, and now she gets a full pardon from President Biden. She won't even give a comment on the news. Elaine Lovett, look her up. I'll put their names down at the bottom. Another multi-million-dollar thief who caused the American taxpayers tons of money. She's also now pardoned. He also pardoned a high-profile drug trafficker who was connected to a Mexican drug cartel, who brought heroin and probably all kind of dangerous other drugs, cocaine, etc., into our communities. And if you traced it all back, no telling how many people overdosed or got shot and killed in the streets behind the drugs that he was trafficking in the country. He gets a pardon. And there's many other controversial people who may or may not be deserving of a pardon. I'm not saying that everybody who got pardoned doesn't deserve to be pardoned. Some people do deserve to be pardoned. But shouldn't we take the time to really consider who and why they're getting pardoned? What is it? Who's connected? It's all about who you know. Don't pretend otherwise. I remember growing up as a young boy in the school system, they said you can grow up to, anybody in this class can grow up to be a president. That's a lie. You don't have a shot at becoming a president unless they choose you and anoint you. Trump is probably one of the sole exceptions who came in and wrecked the system up. But at the Bushes before him, they were crowned by the rest of the establishment. They all crooked and corrupt. You know what I mean? But what do you think about all these pardons? Hey, I'd like to get a pardon. I know a bunch of other dudes who done time in prison and who they doing good in life. I'm sure they would like a pardon. What about, say, you convicts? Do y'all want a pardon? Y'all want President Biden to give you a pardon? Hey, President Biden, can you give Greg from the Pen and the Shank Broadcasting Network a pardon, please? I'm asking. Can y'all reach out to the president and give me a pardon? Man, give me a like and subscribe. And let's share your thoughts on all these pardons. Should Biden pardon President Trump? Man, let's get it.